What's up guys, Bluddshed here, bringing you a Necromancer Speed build for Diablo 3 patch 2.6 and season 11. Now I gotta say big shout out to my boy Wheatthin from Twitch chat, as we both heavily worked on this build and cultivated over time. It's still probably gonna change more, so check the Diablo fans link in the description down below. I'm sure we're gonna find something else and find something better. On the PTR, I was speedrunning GR70s around the 3-minute mark, which is not bad, and we're doing T13 in like the 2.5 to 3 minute mark with perfectly optimal gear, ancients and all that stuff. So first of all, you want around 50% cooldown reduction, and we're also using Nemesis bracers to get pretty much perma uptime on Blood Rush. Okay, so that's gonna solve our movement. Okay, as far as movement speed goes, we are using the Lost Time offhand. You can get up to 5% movement speed and it stacks 5 times. So that's 25% movement speed just from using the offhand. We're also getting 25% movement speed from our Wreath of Lightning gem, which is proccing all the time. Another way we're getting movement speed is from bone armor itself. Okay, so there's 10 stacks of bone armor. You get 1 movement speed per stack, that's 10. But we're also using the amulet, so you get 5 more, so there's 15% movement speed from the Kalan amulet, okay? Kalan gives bone armor up to 5 more stacks, or just 5 more stacks, so 15, okay? So you're getting more damage reduction, and you're getting more movement speed just from using that. One thing to note is the Fueled by Death passive that is supposed to give you 3% movement speed that stacks 10 times, so that's 30% movement speed. It's not working. As far as my testing, like we were using it on stream and our movement speed wasn't increasing when we would consume a corpse. Since our main damage ability is Corpse Lance, we're consuming corpses. I think it's bugged, it might get patched. So if it does get patched, I'm gonna swap out probably Blood is Power for 30% movement speed. That's huge. So that's gonna give this build even more of a little kick, right? So, that will probably change if it gets patched. But here's all my passives here. Spreading Malediction, we're constantly cursing. We're using the Trigul's Fang, and every single time you hit with Trigul's Fang, you're gonna be cursing enemies. So they're gonna have curses everywhere. We also have Aura of Frailty going off everywhere. If it's early season and you are suffering, you can swap out Vigilante Belt for Dainty's Binding. Dainty's Binding is the belt that gives you 50% damage reduction if you have Decrepify. So since, if you swing your scythe and you're gonna hit giant groups of mobs, typically, chances are one of them is gonna have Decrepify and you're gonna get that damage bonus. So you don't actually need to carry Decrepify on your bar down here. I think some people were confused of why I don't have Decrepify back when I was using the binding, but I decided for more cooldown, just to kind of compensate in other areas. So if you're running solo, you can swap out Unity for Lornell's Sunstone, but a lot of times you're in groups and Unity doesn't really work in groups. So I use Lornell's as a more constant source of damage reduction. And Unity does give you the, elite damage. So it's better for solo for sure. Maybe you can have an armory save for Unity and an armory save for Lornell's for group play or something, some kind of balance of that. I like Convention over Stone of Jordan for the 33% uptime on Convention of Elements as well. Nems are a given, you're getting elites. The elites are also gonna proc your Ingeom, so it's kind of synergizes together. Crispin's one of the best items in the game. Whenever something's frozen or stunned or feared or blinded, they're just gonna take 300% damage. It's really insanely strong. Since we have no resource spenders, Aquila Cuirass is just a nice flat 50% damage reduction. Allows us to tank a lot of things, especially early game. It gives us a nice little bump there. You can use Corpse Lance about half to a full screen away from your character. So when you're Blood Rush with Molting, you leave a corpse way back here, but you can actually Corpse Lance someone down here and it'll pull from way back here. So it's one of the few things you can actually use Molting on, and it's pretty valuable for this build just to have a corpse if you just need to finish off an elite or a guardian or something like that. And of course, finishing off elites, Frailty kills anything at 15% health, even Rift Guardians, even packs with shielding on them, pretty much anything just gets executed at 15% health. And the effect is increased by your gold pickup radius, so you can get some nice Frailty procs as you're speed running through the Rift. So Blood, why do you have Commander of the Dead? Commander of the Dead lowers cooldown of our Golem by 30%. It allows our Golem to be up pretty quickly, with Ingeom and just everything going off. It's more consistent for speeds, I found, than actually Land of the Dead. Land of the Dead, 120 second cooldown. golem 45 seconds or less even. So I basically use them to spawn corpses. So 8 usable corpses typically gives me about like 3 lance shots. So, you know, every other elite pack or every elite pack sometimes I can use the golem and kill elites with him. It's just more consistent corpses than Land of the Dead, but you can use either one. I mean, we're still hammering out the details, so we don't really know what the best is gonna be, but as of right now, this is my favorite speed build. As far as rotation goes, you just, you know, bone armor to, you know, get your buff, your 15 stacks from everything. You wanna swipe once or twice as you're porting around, swipe him, jump over here, swipe him. Use Corpse Lance on the elites, as you saw in the opening video, and that's pretty much it. It's pretty easy to play. It's pretty chill, tanky, fast, effective, and there's a lot of room for improvement. Like if it's early, you can kind of compensate for more survivability, or if it's late game, you can lose more and more survivability for more damage, so you can kill faster. So that's gonna be all for me today. Big shout out to my patrons and Twitch subs. Today I want to give a special shout out to Terenke. Terenke, thank you, man. You're always hanging out in Twitch, supporting patron supportage. I appreciate you, man. Thank you for being a big part of the community, man. I love you, bro. Make sure to follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. We're gonna be streaming Necromancer there pretty much until season 11 drops, and then we're gonna main Necromancer. It's gonna be awesome, man. One of my favorite classes, the Necro, just in general, just everything about it. Super cool, man. That's gonna be all for me today. This is the Bloodshed, and I'm out of here. Peace.